Ingeteam Power Technology, Power Grid Automation, Tutorials. Topic: USB features. In this video, we will learn about what can be done through the USB port of an Ingepack IED and how to configure and restrict its use. First, we will try to retrieve the backup and CID from an Ingepack EF IED. For that, we will need to insert a USB stick in the USB port at the frontal panel. The IED will detect the device and will show a downloading data message in the local display. Once the download is finished, the IED will let us know by displaying a disconnect the USB device message in the local display. This feature is also available in the Ingepack DA family IEDIS, for which the messages shown in the local display may differ from those in the Ingepack EF devices. In addition to downloading the backup files of the device, we may also upload new CID configurations to an IED through its USB port. To do that, we will need to insert a USB stick which only has a CID file in the root folder. The IED will detect the USB and first download the backup files to the USB. When the download is finished, the IED will ask the user for confirmation to start the CID update process. After the action is confirmed, the CID will be downloaded to the IED. Later, the CID will be validated and updated in the IED. The process will be identical for the Ingepack DA IEDIS. If we insert the USB stick in our computer, we will get access to several system logs, fault records, oscillography files, and even the CID file. Besides the CID, we may also update the firmware version using a USB stick. For that, we will empty our USB stick, create a folder named FW, and upload the desired firmware version in the FW folder. Then we will stick the USB drive in the IED, which will launch the backup download process. Once the backup is downloaded, the IED will ask the user for confirmation to upload the firmware file. After uploading the firmware update file, the IED will ask the user to unplug the USB drive, action after which the firmware update will begin. In IEDIS with a local display, it will show a progress bar for the update procedure and the status LED will start blinking. Lastly, we will learn how to configure and restrict the use of the USB port on the Ingepack IEDIS. We will access the web server of the IED with the cybersecurity credentials and navigate to the Cybersecurity tab, Settings subtab. In the USB configuration section, we may block the USB port and even restrict its use so that it can only be used after entering a password. The type of the password required by the IED may also be configured in the Display Configuration section, either as a numeric key or as a combination of user and password. When the key is configured as a user-password combination, the credentials will be written with the use of the arrow pad in the front panel and a virtual keyboard in the local display. This will work for both Ingepack EF and DA devices in the same way. On the contrary, the numeric type key will be input differently in the Ingepack DA and EF devices. The Ingepack EF devices do have a numeric pad with which to input the key. Nonetheless, we will need to follow the instructions shown in the local display for the Ingepack DA devices. These will indicate the user that the menu button needs to be pressed to use the functional keys as a numeric pad. Finally, we now know what can be done through the USB port of an Ingepack IED and how to configure and restrict its use.
Ingeteam, electrifying a sustainable future.